Hi, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everybody. My name is Jojo Hadakan from Ayata, based here in our Geneva office. So I'm very glad to welcome you for the webcast this afternoon. And I would just like to highlight a few logistics for the session this afternoon. The session is going to be recorded and it will be given to you. The recording of the session will be given to you together with the presentation, the Q&A, and other supporting that might be needed after this webcast. And there's a question box on the right-hand side of your screen. Please type in any question that you might have, and Vivek and the other C's team will be addressing them at the end of the session. I also would like to give a bit of a introduction on why we are doing this. Actually, this is going to be a series of webcasts coming from IATA to target airline financial people to bring the topics closer to you guys. So, for example, today we will have the new SIS functionalities, and next week we will be having the new standards for leases, aircraft leases. And from now on, once you subscribe to our webinar, we will definitely invite you for the future ones, and it's up to you if you would like to register or not. And if you believe that the invitation is more suited for your other colleagues, please feel free to send the invitation to them as well. And as I've mentioned, is that the recording of the session will be provided to you, so you can also forward this to any of your colleague that is not able to join the webcast today. So without further ado, I'll introduce you now and give you to Vivek Pandit. He is the analyst for CSE Invoicing team, and he will walk us through the session this afternoon. And in between, I'll pop up to ask a few questions just to make sure that we're still aligned, and then just also make sure that we understand the topic very well. So Vivek, over to you.
Hello, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all on the call today. Thank you for joining us on today's SIS webinar, the first of many webinars to come. We're very excited about this new series that we're presenting for all of our members. So we encourage your participation going forward. And we hope that today's presentation will be valuable and useful to you and your teams. So today we'd be covering some of the new SIS functionalities that were deployed in May of this year, as well as what is to be deployed tomorrow, November 8th, in the new major release 1.15. This is a look of the agenda items we'll be covering today. So between the both releases, we'll be covering contact management, which is an overall concept and process of how you manage your contacts as is today. This is not a new functionality, but we would like to remind and refresh everyone's knowledge on this area. Changes to user and contact management data retention policy. The second point, this is a new functionality that will be introduced this coming release deployed tomorrow, and that will impact your users and your contacts. Payment status for miscellaneous invoices and the new data purging process. Similar to the user contact management, there will be changes to the way miscellaneous invoices will be purged based on the payment status. That's a new functionality coming up as well tomorrow. And then we will be discussing two of the new functionalities or features that were deployed in May of this year as part of release 1.14, the new passenger rejections analysis report, and the new correspondence aging report and alerts. So let's dive into contact management. Many of us would have contacts already set up in our member profiles, in our SIS member profiles and accounts. So this section is to remind, and for those that may not have known or work with the contacts, to bring knowledge to you about how you go about managing your contacts and why is it important. So as it mentions here, these SIS contacts are email addresses that are assigned to receive important email alerts from SIS. They relate to SIS processing activities as well as ICH processing activities, such as correspondence alerts, file validations or sanity check report notifications, SIS output file availability, clearinghouse notifications for both ICH and ACH, and availability of reports. It's important to remember the 3 points below. A contact does not need to be a user. They can be active as a standalone contact without being a user. Only SIS super users or administrative users or other users with the appropriate permissions assigned to them can add or manage contacts accordingly. It is very important for contacts to be regularly maintained for all your member accounts to make the most of the related functionalities and features of SIS. So we're going to walk through some of the screens that some of you may already be familiar with. For those that are not, this would be a good learning opportunity for you to manage your contacts. So the first screen we'll take a look at is how to go about retrieving your SIS contacts, and you do so via the module in SIS, Profile and User Management, Manage Member Profile, and the Contacts tab. This is noted at the top of the screenshot. You would see on the screenshot there are contacts that will be displayed to you as soon as you go into that tab of your member profile. You can select any of the contacts in the list to view at the bottom their details and whether or not they are active. To view your SIS contacts email alerts and who are assigned to receive specific alerts, click the button called View All Contact Assignments. This will bring a pop-up box to you like this that you see on the screen that will display all your active contacts and their email alerts assignments as they are now. Users with the appropriate permissions will be able to add or remove contact assignments on this window. So from here, you would simply be able to check or uncheck the boxes for the necessary contacts, for the necessary alerts that you wish that contact to receive or no longer receive. And note, the box pops up, but there is a scroll bar to the bottom for you to swipe right or swipe left, because there are quite a few alerts that you can assign to your contacts. So please be mindful of that when you get into this pop-up box. You may also use the search criteria at the top to refine your search for billing category specific or clearinghouse specific email alerts. To add a new contact, you can click the button Add New Contact, and again, users with the appropriate permissions will be able to do this, and they will need to enter the fields that are required on the contact details form and save. After they're saved, please ensure that they are active. To deactivate a contact, after you pull up the user's contact details, you would see the flag on the contact details form saying whether or not they are active with the checkbox. If the box is checked, it means they are active. If you uncheck the box or untick the box, you would deactivate the contact. When you deactivate the contact, this means the contact will no longer be eligible to receive email alerts from SIS. Replace contact assignments. If you click Replace Contact Assignments, it will replace one contact's assignment from one person to another. You can use this if you have replacement of roles within your organization or any other relevant changes to the contacts that you find necessary to replace from one to another. This is what the pop-up box would look like when you click Replace Contact Assignments. You would have the option to drop down and select out of your active contacts to select from which contact would you like to replace onto the new contact. So you would replace from one to another. You select out of the drop-down menus who is the from and who is the to, and then click OK. Copy contact assignments. As it mentions, this is if you wish to replicate, not replace, but replicate, duplicate, or copy over the same assignments that are assigned to one contact to another contact. With this functionality, it does not replace the old contact's assignment. It does not remove any of the assignments. It simply copies over from one to another. So if you have a new member of your organization joining and they share a similar role with someone else in your organization that's already receiving contacts, assignments, and alerts, you can copy from one person to the new joiner so that they would receive the same contact assignment alerts as the old or the existing team member that you have. This is again what the pop-up screen would look like when you click Copy Contact Assignments. you would select the contact from which you wish to copy from onto the new contact. This will copy the assignments of email alerts from the first to the second contact. And that would be it for that screen. From here, we wish to take you to another screen, which is relevant to contact management as well. A lot of our members ask us for a report that they can get that lists or contains the contact details of the other SIS members. So what we saw would have been your contacts for your member profile. This member contact report gives you details for the contacts of other SIS members. For instance, if you take a look on the screen, you would see the module is the reports. It's under reports, not your member profile. Then select member contact report. In this screen, you would select the option for contact details, enter the member name or code for the contact details you wish to receive. If you do not know the member code or name, or you wish to receive the contact alerts and assignments for all members in the SIS community, you can leave that field blank. At the bottom section of that screen, you would see the display options. Here, you would select what you wish to generate on your report, such as member designator, member legal name, email addresses, and so on. There is a list. You can scroll down and move over from one box onto the selected field box before generating your report at the bottom of the screen. When you generate your report, it will produce to you, and you will be able to view the report with the selected fields that you've requested. There is also another way for you to receive contact information for other SIS members. This is usually used for automation purposes, and or if you wish to receive this file pushed at the end of each billing period to you. This is called the Complete Contacts Data, CSV file. You access this file through your Download File module from the General screen, File Management, and Download File. The file type would be Complete Contacts Data CSV file, and this is an automated output file that's generated for all members at the end of each billing period. It provides the most updated list of all SIS contacts to you. You may use this file to load into your systems, internal systems, or for your own reference you can maintain. Please note this is updated at the end of each billing period. So at the end of each billing period, you will get the updated list of contacts. And at this point, I would like to ask Jojo to present the first poll before we move on.
Thank you so much, Vivek. So that's all about contact management. So we have a poll, and we'll give you 15 seconds to answer it. So the question is that, is it possible to generate a report in SIS with a specific or all SIS member contacts based on what Vivek has mentioned? So we'll give you 15 seconds. Will you please vote? And then we'll be sharing with you the result. So for those, we still have a few people that has not voted. So please make sure that you vote. And let's see if it's correct or not. Good. We're still missing a few percent, but we can go on. And then Vivek?
Yes, I'm still here.
Yes. So the result is that 99% of the people actually said it's true, and only 1% said that we cannot. What's the correct answer?
The correct answer is true. There is a report that we covered in the previous slide that will give you all of the contact details for SIS members. So I'm very happy to see that 99% of you responded true with the correct answer. Thank you very much. So we move on to the next section.
Yes, please.
Thank you, Jojo. So this section relates to a new functionality that will be deployed in this release coming up tomorrow. This will explain a little bit about the changes to user and contact management data retention policy. The data retention policy for user and contact management will be changed and updated effective tomorrow. Changes in the EU GDPR legislation, which most of you may be familiar with, has provisioned new rules with regards to the storage of personal data in SIS. Effective 8th of November 2019, which is tomorrow, after the deployment, a new process in SIS will automatically, 1, invalidate and delete the details of users and their linked contacts that have been deactivated by other users or by the system due to inactivity. 2, deactivate the linked contact user. And 3, finally, delete all deactivated users and contacts after 2 years of being in a deactivated status. So please be mindful of these 3 points, just to repeat the last one. All users and contacts that have been deactivated, after 2 years of deactivation, they will be deleted. When users and contacts are deleted, they will no longer show in the following SIS modules, such as the Manage Users screen. If you try to search for the deleted user, you will not be able to find them. They will not display a result at all. In the Contacts module in your profile management, you will not be able to retrieve the contact that was deleted. If you try to assign the permission to that user, they will not be available in the pop-up box to assign permissions. They will not be available to manage location associations or assign location associations to that user. You will not be able to retrieve that user. And on your profile changes report, you will not be able to see any changes made by that user or otherwise. If you also run the SIS users report for your member account, you will not be able to view that user on the report either. When users and contacts are deleted, they will no longer show in the search criteria of the following screens. Manage invoice. If you select the drop-down menu, for who is the invoice or credit note owner, you will not be able to see the user that created the invoice. Billing history and correspondence screens, applicable for all billing categories: passenger, cargo, miscellaneous, and UATP. The correspondence owner field will show deleted for a user that had action on a previous correspondence that is now deleted. They will not be displayed on the correspondence. Manage disputes. The field dispute owner, you will not be able to view the user under that drop-down. Changes again, how to reactivate or activate a user. Under the Manage Users screen, Profile User Management, to manage users. The highlighted button on this screen next to the received user, you can click that with the little person and the lock logo, the lock symbol. That will allow you to activate or deactivate a SIS user. Please be mindful, when you deactivate a SIS user, the time starts ticking for the 2 years until deletion. Within the 2 years before they are deleted, you may be able to reactivate the user using the same button on the same screen. Important notes. After a user or contact are deleted, they must be created as a whole new user or contact. It is very important that super users regularly maintain or update their list of SIS member account users and contacts. This would reflect the most appropriate status if managed well. For additional guidance on managing users and contacts, we wish to refer everyone to the following resources on our website that we publish. The SIS User Guide, it will be Chapter 7. The ISPG, it would be Chapter 10. And on the computer-based training module that we have short video clips on our website, you would find it under the video clip module, Member and User Profile. Therefore, just to reiterate why it's important for super users or users with the necessary permissions to maintain their users and contacts, as mentioned in the first section, before they are deleted. So right now, before we get into the other section, Jojo, I'll ask you to present the second question.
Yes, regarding the question, after a user and contact is deactivated, it takes how long for the username and contact to be deleted in SIS? And again, we'll give you 15 seconds, so please put on your vote now. So the options are 2 years, 3 years, and 5 years. And there's still a few people that has not voted, so please cast on your vote. So 98% said 2 years, 1% said 3 years, and 1% said 5 years. Vivek?
Thank you, Jojo. The correct answer is 2 years. So thank you all for your participation in that question. 98% of you got it correct. Users and contacts that have been deactivated will be deleted after 2 years. And we'll continue on to the next section now. The next section we'll cover is the payment status for miscellaneous invoices and the new data purging process. Currently, invoice PDFs, listings, and CSV list files for bilateral miscellaneous invoices and credit notes are purged after 12 months. With this change, if the last payment status as per the billing member, in other words, who's billing you, of an invoice or credit note is a status where the purging of invoice PDF and listing files should be excluded, then the invoice and listing files of that invoice will not be purged until the payment status as per billing member is updated to one of the payment statuses where the invoice or credit note will be eligible for purging. So let me just explain this a little bit easier for you. As per the current existing functionality, bilateral miscellaneous invoices and credit notes will be purged after 12 months. If there are payment status updates that are made by the billing member that includes a particular status, such as, and I will show you on the screen, these six statuses will be excluded from the existing and normal 12-month purging process. In other words, if your billing member updates your bilateral miscellaneous invoice or credit note status, payment status, to overdue payment, partial payment accepted as per dispute, partial payment disputed, partial payment outstanding, or status correction, payment not received. If your billing member assigns such a status to your invoice, they will be excluded from purging. All other payment statuses, as per the billing member, will be eligible for purging as per the existing purge process, which is 12 months. In other words, all invoices will be purged as per the normal process after the 12 months, unless they are updated with one of these 6 payment statuses by your billing member. Then it will remain in the system until the payment status is updated to any other besides these 6. From that update, then it takes 12 months to purge. So hopefully that clarifies for you. Just a couple important notes about this new functionality. This change is applicable to invoices and credit notes only for miscellaneous billing categories, not passenger, not cargo, not UATP. With a settlement method indicator as bilateral or R, or any other settlement method indicator that behaves as bilateral. So in other words, not a clearinghouse, with the exception of SMIX. The invoice and PDF listing files that have been purged prior to the deployment of this change, which will be tomorrow, will not be available for download. In other words, this functionality does not retroact. If the user attempts to download such an invoice, the system will provide the appropriate error message saying that the invoice has been purged. So these are two important notes to remember about this new functionality. And with that, I will go into the other poll question. Jojo, if you can please present that question.
Yes, thank you so much, Vivek. And the question is that how many months does it take for invoices or credit notes to be purged as per the existing process? Is it 6 months, 12 months, or 20 months? Please cast in your votes and we'll give you 15 seconds. Thank you. You guys are very fast. We're just waiting for a few more people. And here we're having more than 1% on other choices, so that would be very interesting. Good. So how many months does it take? 4% said 6 months, 95% said 12 months, and 1% said 20 months. Vivek?
The correct answer is B, 12 months. So 95% of you responded correctly. Thank you. That means that we're on the right track.
But maybe I would just like to ask a question. Was there anything that you've mentioned about 6 months that might have confused other people?
Let me revert to the last 3 slides just to make sure I did not, but I do not believe that I did. As per the first slide here on the screen now, the first sentence, currently invoice PDF listings and CSV details for bilateral miscellaneous invoice and credit notes are purged after 12 months. So that's your answer.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. So we'll move on to the next section now. So we covered 2 of the functionalities that will be deployed tomorrow. Now we're going to discuss 2 of the new functionalities and features that were introduced in May of this year earlier. The new passenger rejection analysis report. Some of you may already be familiar with this report. If not, your super users will definitely be aware of this. In May of 2019, this new report was introduced for airlines to analyze their incoming and outgoing passenger rejection memos and compare their performance against the global industry trend. This report is designed for passenger interline teams to assess their passenger rejection billing quality against the industry, to easily view the passenger rejection billing trends and anomalies, and to take corrective action to bill correctly the first time and prevent or reduce rejections. Just as a note, this functionality was as a result of the passenger rejection memo reduction initiative, which some of you may be familiar with already. So if you are not familiar with this initiative, we encourage you to visit our website for more information on this initiative and its current progress. To download this report, you would access the SIS module, Reports, Passenger, Non-Sampling RM Analysis Comparison to the Industry. You would see either one of those options for IATA RAM rules or ACH rules. If you participate in the relevant clearinghouses, if you participate in the ICH, you would receive your report for IATA RAM rules. If you participate in the ACH, you will receive your report for analysis against the industry for ACH rules, including ACH members. Example of this report, what would it look like to you? This is one of the graphs that we would present on the report. It's an automated report without you having to interpret or enter any of the details. It automatically generates to you and presents you with graphs such as these. The ratio of first stage rejections raised by a member over prime billings billed to another member. Another example of what you would see on the report, a comparison between the total count of your prime billings received, total first stage rejection memos raised that you have raised, total second stage rejection memos that you have received, and total third stage rejection memos that you have raised. So you would see your volumes and ratios for these 4 areas. At the bottom of that table, the report also provides a quick summary line. It can be estimated within that period. For example, 10% of your prime billings raised by you, the member, were rejected by other airlines and accepted by you as incorrectly. So it gives a little bit of summary information that can be helpful to you at a quick glance. It also provides the top 5 airlines raising rejections against you, and also provides the top reason codes that are raised against you as well, and that you raise against the industry. At the bottom, it gives another summary line. The top 4 reason codes represent 97%, for example, of all first stage rejections raised against you, the member, during this period. So you can take a quick glance at your performance against the industry and take corrective action as needed. Some benefits that we've realized from this report, that the community has realized from this report: it's easy to get a quick snapshot of your rejection memo performance against the industry. You can it helps you identify possible gaps in your processing. It helps easily identify the top 5 interline partners so that you can approach them and tackle any specific issues with them. And keep in mind, this report updates every month. So every month, the report details may be updated or changed. Your interline partners may change every month as well. Please be mindful of that. It provides a performance summary notes for supervisor or managerial reception, as we've seen. And you can quickly view trends and anomalies to take corrective and prompt corrective action. So before we continue on to the next one, I'll ask Jojo to present the next question for us.
Just one second. The next question is that this report, called New Analysis Report for Passenger Rejection, is designed for passenger interline teams to assess their passenger rejection billing quality against the industry. That's a very long sentence. Is it true or false? While we're waiting for your vote, I would just like to remind you that there's a question box on the right-hand side of your screen. And if you have anything that you would like to clear up or give more context, please feel free to type in any of your questions, and we will address them at the end of the session. So a few more seconds, please. We're still missing some people to cast in their votes. Good. And 97% said true and 3% said false. Vivek?
Perfect, thank you. The correct answer is true. This new report does allow you to assess your billing quality performance against the industry. We highly recommend for those of you in the passenger interline teams, if you do not yet have access to or you have not seen this report, please talk with your super users and see if you can get access to this report on a monthly basis. They are produced for you, so you can take corrective action monthly and assess your performance against the industry on a regular basis. So we move on to the next section now. The last section that we have is called the Correspondence Aging Report and Alerts. This was a new function or feature that was introduced in May of this year as well. A new correspondence aging report is generated each month and sent to the contacts that are assigned to receive this. So as we reviewed in the beginning of our webinar today, the contact management, this is why it's so important. For correspondence aging alerts, the contact that is assigned to receive this report will be the one to take action as necessary on the correspondences. This new report is applicable to all billing categories except UATP, which will be for passenger, cargo, and miscellaneous billing categories. This report is meant to provide a list of correspondences that meet the following 3 criteria. 1, all open correspondences that have crossed a stage 7 iteration. 2, a list of all correspondences that have been initiated for which authority to bill has been received, but no billing memo has been raised as yet. And 3, a list of correspondences that have been initiated and expired due to non-reply from your other airline and for which no billing memo has been raised yet. So these are the three conditions or criteria, if you will, that will generate on the report for you. To assign the contact this email alert back to your member profile, in the Contacts tab, if you click View All Contact Assignments, you would be able to search and select the appropriate email alert. After you click View All Contact Assignments, under the search criteria, you would select the group being billing category specific. In other words, you want to pull up the email alerts that are relevant to a specific billing category. The subgroup, you can select passenger, or you can select your cargo, miscellaneous, etc. And under that, when you click search, under the results, you would find the option for correspondence report contact. Tick the box for the contacts that need to receive this alert, or untick the box if they do not need to receive the alert. So please be mindful of the contact that you assign to receive the correspondence report and how you can go about doing so in your member profile contact management screen. An example of this report is shown here on the screen for you. Dear SIS member, find below the correspondence aging report for your member account. And it provides to you the list of correspondences that meet the criteria as we explained on the first slide. So a couple benefits that were realized from this new report. You can take the necessary steps to prevent lengthy aging and or expiry of correspondences. Minimize the loss of revenue to your company due to no response or expired correspondences. And it helps improve overall quality of inward and outward billings. So for instance, if you have a high volume of correspondences that have crossed stage 7 iteration, you may wish to review your processes of how you handle correspondences and your rejection memo performance and what's leading to those correspondence volumes. So it's very important that the appropriate team member of your organization is assigned to receive these correspondence aging alerts for these particular reasons. So without further ado, the last question I think we have, Jojo, I'll ask you to present that for us, please.
What is the name of the alert type that can be assigned to contacts to receive the new correspondence aging report? Is it the correspondence expiry contact, correspondence contact, or correspondence report contact? So please cast in your votes. And wow, this is the first question that we have some division, so which is good. Please be reminded again that I received some questions asking if the presentation will be shared. Yes, definitely it will be shared together with the Q&A and the recording of this session. So you'll be receiving it maximum tomorrow as soon as we have all the supporting documents that we need. So we're still waiting for other people to vote. This is the last poll for the day, so please cast in those votes. So 17% said correspondence expiry contact, 6% correspondence contact, and 77% correspondence report contact. Vivek?
Thank you, Jojo. So the correct answer is C. The very last one, 77% of you said the correspondence correspondence report contact. That is the correct answer. However, I would like to make mention that the other two responses are valid correspondence contacts. They actually do exist. And it's an opportunity for you to also assign the appropriate contacts to receive those alerts for correspondence expiries and in general correspondence alerts for when you receive new correspondences, etc. So I understand that would have been a tricky question, but the last response is correct for the report contact. And again, we urge you to assign the other two contacts as well. Thank you, Jojo. So that covers our webinar for today, the content of what we wish to present to you today. So bottom line for us to you, our SIS members and community is, are you making the most of your new functionalities? Are you getting the most out of SIS? Are you able to understand what you can or cannot do in SIS? And if you have any other, any other concerns or questions about what are the new functionalities besides what we covered today in SIS, how can you get that? How can you access that information? So we want to take you to our website. 3 steps, iata.org/SIS. Under the columns on the left-hand side of the page, you would see SIS for Airlines, and then select the Documents tab. Under the Documents tab, you would find the ISPG along with many other resources that we publish. At the bottom of the Documents tab, you would find the section called Production System Release Notes. You would find under Major Releases all of the major release notes that we have published on our website regarding new functionalities and features. Any new functionality and feature that we include in the releases, such as tomorrow's release, we publish on our website for each release title, such as 1.14, and tomorrow we're deploying 1.15. We strongly encourage each of you to visit our website, just as you see on the screen here, and take a look at the production system release notes. And while you're there, if you click on the support tab, the second tab at the top, you would find other resources that may be helpful to you as well, such as user guides, the computer-based training, and other relevant important material. You would also see the tab called Rejections. That's where you would get all of your information and progress updates on the Rejection Memo Reduction Initiative. So we really encourage you to visit our website, take a look at all the resources and documentation that we post on our website for you, and you would find them very, very helpful and useful. Any questions on these documentations and resources, please feel free to log a query with us on the new customer portal, the IATA customer portal, and we'll be able to assist you.
Good. Thank you so much. It's time for question and answer. And there were 3 questions that came in when you were discussing the new analysis report for passenger rejections. I will read them all together and then you can go one by one, okay? So about this report is that, will the new report require a special assignment? First question. Second question, will this report also be available for cargo in the future? And third question, can this report generate for past periods as well?
All right, so let's take, Jojo, if you can please repeat the first questions for us.
Will the new report, which is the analysis report for passenger rejection, require the special assignment?
No, it does not require a special contact assignment. That's a good question. It is generated, and I will take you back to that screen. It is generated based on a prompt action by the user on the SIS module in the reports module of, there it is. On the screen, I'm displaying there how you go about accessing the rejection memo analysis report. It's under the SIS module titled reports, then passenger, then you would see the option for your report. And you click the option and it immediately downloads the report for you. There's no other steps required. Yes, Jojo?
Will this report also be available for cargo in the future?
At the moment, we do not have it on our plate for cargo, but we will definitely take that into consideration into the next coming months and years if this can be introduced for cargo. Because I'd like to mention that the primary reason for this new report and where it came from came as a result of the Passenger Rejection Memo Reduction Initiative, which was initiated by the airlines, those SIS member communities of the SIS steering group that has decided unanimously to reduce the rejection memos for passenger billings. That's where the result of this came from. So if there is a need in the future for such a report for cargo, it will definitely be deployed and prioritized as needed based on industry need.
Great, thank you, Vivek.
And what was the other question that you had, Jojo?
Can this report generate for past periods as well?
can this report generate for past periods? No. When you click on the report, it generates for the month in which you're currently in, but it gives you a snapshot of the last 12 months. So if you click the report today, being November, you would receive your performance that was in October, and it would show you from October of last year to October of this year.
But a
Similarly,
snapshot.
yes, with the snapshot and the summary notes. Similarly, if you click the report to run at the end of November, when the report is prepared, you would see from November of last year to November of this year. So in other words, whichever month you are running the report, you would lose the month of the last year that you're running for. We recommend running the report each month so that you maintain and save those reports.
On a different topic, the new retention policy for users, does it apply to super users?
If the super user is deactivated, it will apply to super users, all users. It's very rare that a super user is deactivated without them knowing or the super user being changed already. But yes, super users will also be eligible for deletion after deactivating.
And next question, how can I see my own contact assignments?
What was that last one, Jojo? I'm sorry.
How can I see my own contact assignments?
For yourself?
Well, for the person asking, yes, I think for the user in herself.
So you can see that for themselves in the same module that we saw at the beginning. In your member profile, take you back there on the screen right now. In your member profile, you would be able to see yourself in this screen that I'm presenting right now. So you would be able to see yourself, as well as you would find yourself on the contact report that we explained and the output CSV file that we also mentioned.
Perfect.
So it contains the contacts for everyone within your member profile, including and the other members as well. So including the super user.
Good. We
Yes.
also receive another question here about the documentation for this presentation. And let me reiterate, the session is being recorded and it will be uploaded to YouTube and Yuku, and the link will be provided to you together with the presentation, the Q&A of all the questions that we've been receiving and the answer from the SIS team. And that will be part of the package for those people that have attended and also for those that have registered but were not able to attend. So yes,
Okay.
definitely you'll receive it in a day or two from us. So please be rest
Thank
assured that you
you.
will get it.
We had one last question that we received. If the new reports require permissions to access them, yes, you would require permissions to be assigned from your super user to access and retrieve this report. So if you do not have the access to it, please request it from your super user.
Good. I don't see anybody typing, but let me just remind people that you'll be invited to another webcast for next week. It's a totally different topic. It's about leasing, aircraft leasing, and this is a request from the industry for IATA to be providing more information on the financial topics that we have in IATA. So please feel free to forward this invitation to your colleagues if it doesn't concern you, or if you would like to actually be educated and be informed on how this is happening, please feel free to sign up for the webcast, and you are more than welcome to attend the session next week. There's another question before we close, is that will the rejection report be available for miscellaneous?
Similar to the cargo, at the moment, there is not a need by the industry for it. However, in the future, if the industry wants such a need for that report, the SIS steering group and other members of the SIS community, when they come to the SIS general meetings every year, we encourage all of our members to participate and come to the SIS general meetings every year so that they can voice these concerns, they can present their opinions, and hopefully get these new reports in this system as well. Yes?
Good. No more question. And again, if there's anything that you would like to ask, even after the session, you have received an invitation from our mailbox. Please feel free to send your question there for the presentation itself, or otherwise, you can also log your questions or requests to the customer portal. So if there's no further question, thank you so much for your time and have a good day to everybody.
Thank you. Bye bye, everyone.